Oh no, not the granddad's allotment. So it's the 2nd of September the day, and I'm just going to be harvesting all my potatoes. See what I'm getting up to. Right, I did these buckets the other week on my last video. These are my first earlies, and that's the last bucket of first earlies I had in the Sharps Express. I'm going to be doing these ones here, which you can see I've just pulled the homes off the top, and those along there. These ones are Desiree. So let's get cracking. Right, like I said, these are Desiree potatoes. Planted in back into April. Another main crop. Not done too bad. He still had green forms on before. So I'm going to harvest all of my potatoes today, just because I'm going to sort out all my raised beds. So I'll use some of the soil in my raised beds. Weird. These potatoes were from Budget Seeds. Bought them when I went and did my visit to Budget Seeds. To be honest, I've had an excellent crop of potatoes this year. My first earlies have been great. Sharps Express, really good. Charlotte's, really good. The soil in here is nothing special. It's just reused soil from raised beds. When I made my raised beds, I had a couple I had to take out this year because the wood was starting to rot. But this is just soil I've built up with rotted sort of compost. There were sticks in the bottom. I used a lot of bramble cuttings and stuff like that when I first built them. Put them again. I'll show you that when I do my next set of raised bed. But that's, yeah, one bucket of Desiree, not too bad. A couple of meals in there. Right, I did a couple more. Right, so I've done a few more harvested buckets. So these reddish ones, they're Desiree. They're a second crop, and I'm getting about half a bag. You know, a couple of pound of potatoes out of each bucket. Those ones are my first earlies, and they're Sharps Express. So getting a decent bag full of the first earlies. These ones were second earlies, Harry. Not so good out of the bucket, but a decent meal. And then this one is main crop Morris Piper. Again, not so good. So Sharps Express definitely for next year, and Desiree for seconds. I'm going to do my cropping of the potatoes in the strawbale veg next. I'll show you that. This is my first of my straw bales. Not quite sure how this is going to come apart, but let's have a go. See whether these have been worth it. So there's 3 potatoes in here in this one bale. Push it onto the ground behind us. Dig about. Now these were Desiree again, but they are, as you can see, is they're quite scabby. It's quite hollow. For that one. Not that one. It's been on the top of the surface. So they have grown. But not that many. So, little patch of potatoes, those 3 potatoes there, and they are scabby. And they are edible, but I don't think I'll bother with that again. Not for potatoes anyway. Right, this is my second straw bale. The bit, as you can see there, this rose bush is the climbing rose that normally goes up here, but it's got that top heavy with the rose hips on it, and the strong winds, it's blown it over. I'll show you that in a minute. So all my trellis work has come off the shed, and the roses come down. It must be, I don't know, 10 foot tall. Now anyway, never mind. So in this straw bale veg, I've got the mini sweet corn there. Yeah, come to nothing really. And I've got two or 3 potatoes in the back there. I'll just check. Right, let's see what I've got in this one. Let's do this one first. A few more on that one. Yeah, they don't spread down unless you get them right at the bottom of the straw bale. They just sit where you plant. Don't go down any further. So they don't spread, they're sort of constricted by straw. I mean, I'm getting a few out of there, but it is literally just what's in that hole fills the hole. So I'm only sort of that far down, and it is literally just what's in that hole. So a little handful, and again quite scabby. So it was an experiment, see how I did with straw bales, but I'll probably not do it again for what I got out of it. I'll use the straw out of them to fill the raised beds that I'm making anyway, which was part of it, to create some more soil. But yeah, straw bale potatoes, worth a go, but I can only see them sort of working if you go right to the bottom of the bale with it. I mean, it's good soil in there now, you know, but yeah, you need to go right to the bottom of the bale, or maybe loosen up the bale and put them in and then put loose straw on the top. I might give that a go next year. I've seen some people doing it in like in rings of wire mesh and then put the straw on top as it grows. I might give that a go. Right, let's crack on. Tomatoes next. Right, let's get into the greenhouse. I'll just show you the apples as I go past. Gonna have a good crop of apples come sort of October time. Pears, nothing on there. I think the rats have got the pears. But yeah, some decent apples anyway. I'm gonna have to cut this back. But let's get into the tomatoes. So into this jungle. But I've stopped watering now, just getting the tomatoes ripening. It is a bit of a jungle. All the tomatoes are heirloom tomatoes, so they're left to sort of scramble. But I am getting, you know, really good crops off them. So that's an orange pear there, yellow pear. You know, just by leaving them to their own devices, I'm getting some decent crops. Some black tomatoes there off each one. So I will be cropping a load of these today. These ones here were Mexican wild currants, so sort of scramblers. Black cream, I believe they were. So right, I'll get through, if I can get through, and get all these sorted. Right, that's the harvesting finished for today. Good little basket of tomatoes there, different sorts, all heirloom, and 4 or 5 bags of potatoes there. Again, heirloom tomatoes are not cordon tomatoes, that's why they're left to scramble, do their own thing. Looks wild, but as long as they're watered every now and again, you'll get a decent crop. Right, that's it for today. Gonna head back home, back at the weekend, before I do the big tidy up. Catch you then.